Look. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Bedford County Sports Talk Live, brought to you by First Bank, Kincaid
Service Company,
and Corner Cleaners, all of Shelbyville. And we appreciate those fine sponsors for making this possible. And we want to start out by talking about some local basketball, Bill. Let's start with Shelbyville Central.
Girls had a pretty good week. Played 3 ball games Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, so they had back-to-back games. The girls lost to Tullahoma starting off on Tuesday night, 41-25. Came back, beat Giles County 65-41. That was a good win. Of course, they beat them before. And a really big win for the Eaglettes. The coach turned them last night, 47-46 over Siegel and Murfreesboro. Our boys, not so much. Rough week on the boys.
The girls go to 4-2 right now.
Okay.
Good. So what about the boys? We're at 2-5.
We had a rough week. That's all you can say about it. Lost Tullahoma by 30, lost to Giles by 25-30, and lost to Siegel last night 71-43. And obviously it's going to take Coach Young a while to get things going.
Yeah. All right.
We still got as many wins in boys basketball this year as we had the entire season last year.
Here's the thing, guys. Don't get frustrated with wins and losses.
Not this time of year.
I mean, I know what's going on up north. Don't get frustrated with it.
Well, it's like Coach Young said, this is the preseason. This is after Christmas is when we really start rolling.
That's when you start playing those region or district games, whatever they call it now. I can't keep up with it. But Cascade boys got their first win last night. They beat Moore County 55-44.
At Moore County. On the road. Anytime Cascade can beat Moore County, anything's good.
Mm-hmm. Girls took a loss 43-33, but they had a win earlier in the week against Santa Fe 52-26, and the boys lost to Santa Fe 67-48. So the boys now are 1-5, and the Cascade girls are 2-4. Moving on to community boys, you got the
community boys and girls swept Hunting this week. I think that was the community boys, and shout out to Robbie Davis, his first win of the year.
Great, yeah.
74-48 over Hunting. The girls got a big win, 50-47 over Hunting.
Yeah, and the girls moved to 3-4, and the boys got their first win. They're 1-6 now. Now the Webb boys and girls are rolling right now.
Oh, they're rolling.
Good.
You got Walker Valley, which the boys played Walker Valley, which that's a class. They jumped over into the other division and stepped up with the big boys, beat them 67-66. And then they beat Grace Christian 81-43. And then University School Nashville 53-52. So they went 3-0 this week. They moved to 6-1 on the season. The girls just now getting rolling good. They lost their first game, but they got 3 big wins this week over Nolensville 51-45, Brentwood Academy. They beat 55-43, and then Pope John Paul III 55-29. The Webb girls are rolling.
The Webb sounds more like a collegiate stuff, where the girls are playing girls different than the boys.
Yes, they got different schedules.
Yeah, they don't. It's not like Shelbyville Community and Cascade. You'll go and watch a boys game, and then you'll turn around. I mean, you'll watch a girls game, and then turn around and watch a boys game.
Well, you could have a home game one night and an away game the same night, with the boys playing here and the girls playing there, which that makes it tough.
What hurts is nobody wants to play the Webb girls.
Well,
that's the problem. Yeah. Unless it's a district game, they got to play.
Well, I don't think too many people.
And people were forfeiting a year or two ago the district games, even just taking it was 1-0 or 2-0, whatever they call it, because they didn't want to play them.
Yeah, and so our basketball teams are in full force right now. They'll have another week and a half or so, and then they get off for the Christmas break. They stop around the 15th or 16th.
Well, all of them don't get off.
They go to tournaments.
They go these tournaments away, and
so they got they're in full force now. Let's talk about high school football, fellas. Last night we saw some. Yesterday we saw some games, and Thursday there were some games. State championship taking place. CPA beat Boyd Buchanan 35-13. And Kenny, you and I were talking about Gary Rankin. This is his 24th state championship game. He's 17-7. He took Boyd Buchanan, and he had 8 freshmen starting on offense.
Gary knows how to coach.
Yes, he does.
Gary knows how to motivate people. He knows how to get the best out of these young men, and he's going to have Boyd Buchanan right up there competing with what he had at Alcoa.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
you got
you look. He was at Riverdale. He was at Smith County before he went to Riverdale, and he turned the Smith County program into a contender. He left there, went to Riverdale. We know what happened at Riverdale, and then he left Riverdale and went to Alcoa.
And we know what happened at Alcoa, and it's still happening at Alcoa.
Still happening at Alcoa.
Well, the thing about it, there's a circulating meme going around that's calling him the GOAT of Tennessee.
Well, he's all-time winningest coach in Tennessee right now.
I'd say he could be one of the greatest of all times in the Southeastern United States in football.
He's won more football games in Tennessee than any other coach.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what kind of run he's had, and he's still got some more years to
go.
go.
A great friend.
Good guy. Baylor and McCallie, the battle of Chattanooga. Baylor won that 28. McCallie won 34-28.
They said that was one of the best high school atmosphere. Yeah, said they probably had as many people in the crowd. Of course, this is all Chattanooga, at Chattanooga,
right?
And as many people in the crowd as they probably have at a UTC game.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that a bit.
I heard the same thing.
It
goes to UTC.
Yeah.
There was more at that high school game than there was at a UTC game.
Yeah.
And they said the atmosphere was just unbelievable.
Okay, Middle Tennessee Christian won their state championship in the Division 2A. They went 12-1 this year. They beat Friendship Christian 28-13. So we've got
that's a program that's just really in the last couple of years turned a new leaf.
Because I remember when they weren't very good.
Yes, when we were playing against them, they have put some emphasis into the program. Started doing the there where they give financial assistance, and I think you're seeing all of their programs.
All right, yesterday in Division 1 we had class 1A, 3A, and 5A playing.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1A, we had South Pittsburgh beat McKenzie 14-7. They went undefeated this year. Kenny, you know a lot about the South Pittsburgh program.
They're a good program, but I understand that all 21 points were scored in the fourth quarter.
Wow. So it was a defensive battle.
It was a really battle. It was a real battle.
In 3A, Alcoa, you just mentioned earlier, went 13-1 this year. They beat East Nashville 42-20. And y'all were talking before the story of East Nashville.
It's a great story. I mean, they don't even have a football field.
They played 8 road games. They don't have a practice field. They practice at a park. They had to play the early game yesterday in Chattanooga. So it was 11 o'clock kickoff Chattanooga time. That's 10 o'clock our time. Therefore, the kids had to stay overnight and listening to the coach. A lot of those kids have never stayed overnight at a hotel.
Yeah.
A lot of them have never eaten out at a hotel. And he said packing their gear and all, but he said it's rough to run a program when you have no income because all their games were on the road. I think they're working on a stadium for them.
That's an amazing story.
And then on top of that, this is his first year to be the head coach at East Nashville. He played at Pearl Cone. And 9 of his coaches, this is their first year to ever
coach the game at all.
And their former coach went to Centennial.
He's at Centennial.
Centennial head coach there. So that's a great story.
And then this is their 3rd year in a row.
Yeah.
And the champion. Who do they get? The 9-time.
Yeah.
Who's won it 9 years in a row now.
All right. We had last night, Region 5, the game that a lot of Central fans probably were watching. Page up against Knoxville West.
Tell you what.
And Page gave that game away.
Page had an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you now, though, they had an opportunity to win, but you got to hats off to West. West stopped them twice inside the 5 on 4th down to seal the win, and it was a real ball game.
I felt like the quarterback for Page kind of got let down a little bit because he was not on the field with an opportunity to win the game. Well, he brought them down there.
That is a package. It looks that they used, they scored. He threw a pass to the number 1, scored the first touchdown, went ahead. But they used that package earlier in the game, and that number 10, the quarterback that they brought in to replace the other one, made a run, and it was an ungodly run. So it's not nothing that they haven't done all year, because it looks like the kids knew what was going to happen when they got down there.
They would put that Wildcat in maybe 2 or 3 plays a game throughout the year. I watched them on a lot of highlights because we scrimmaged them earlier, and I just took an interest in some of their players. They had Mr. Football Candidate, and they had that quarterback that was really good, the Palmer kid. And this number 10 came in, and he would run a Wildcat 2 or 3 times a game.
I didn't realize to watching that game last night, the Palmer kid is the nephew
Carson Palmer
of Carson, and is it Justin too? His 2 uncles played in the NFL.
Yeah. They he's got it in his blood. He showed leadership getting them back in that game, got them down there, and then was sitting on the sideline at the end. I just felt like had he been in the game, he would have found a way to get the ball in the end zone.
Well, I would have thought they would have had they're using that package. I mean, it's not that they hadn't used it all year. Maybe had an option of some kind of throw off of it, because
they threw off of it, and the kid just isn't.
Well, that was 7. I mean, they brought the quarterback back in after they got hit, and it was like
fourth down. Yeah.
It was 4th and 4.
All right,
Decatur County, East Robertson today.
Yes.
Yeah, that's big.
That'll be a good one to watch.
I talked to Coach Frost yesterday. They were there last year, and feel like he's got a good chance. Of course,
East Robertson's got some athletes.
East Robertson's got some athletes.
That'll be a good one to watch.
Johnny's done a good job at Decatur.
You got Houston against Oakland here. Houston is in Memphis, right next to Southwind High School. They're not 3 miles apart from each other. But Southwind got all the pub this year, but Houston's pretty good. But I think Oakland's on a mission.
Yeah,
Oakland's ready.
Yeah, Riverdale.
They woke them
up.
And then, hey, before we get off, we're going to have a kickoff for Pearl-Cohn and Upperman, 2 undefeated teams from the mid-state.
11 o'clock.
That's 10 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock there. 10 o'clock our
Upperman's
time.
a great story, but they're going to get their first L today. I don't think this game's even. Pearl-Cohn could be the best team in the state. Could be.
You never know.
Yeah, they're pretty darn good.
You don't get to play them all. So.
I like it. Somebody's going to have to beat Alcoa.
True.
Yeah. All right. So lots of action still to go in high school football today, and then it's over. And then we've got college football. Had a big game last night.
Hey, that's a good ball game.
Washington, Oregon.
I was trying to go back and forth. It and Page game.
Yeah,
that was a real ball game.
It was a great ball game, but I'm going to say this that surprised me a little bit. Washington out-physicaled Oregon, especially the first 3 quarters, and that shocked me.
Let me tell you this, Bill. Don't shock me. You beat Oregon early.
Yep.
You're a 9.5 dog to them.
Couldn't believe that one. How in the world were
you're a 9.5
point dog and undefeated?
And they were dogs too.
Yes, they were.
That
so running back's good. Number 7 had a really nice game for Washington.
You don't think you have a little bit on your chest when hey, we beat them and now we're going to get beat by 9.5.
I couldn't believe the line was that.
Yeah, they were playing for a little. And that Washington team, first of the year. Remember what I told you guys? Watch out for Washington.
Clearly, they're in the playoff now. They're in.
They're in. So we got.
And we know they can be physical.
Sure. That was what I was taken aback by. I had watched them other times not be as physical, and they were pretty doggone physical yesterday.
They can play.
But the Liberty, New Mexico State game, David, was a really, really good game. It was 49-35. I enjoyed watching that. I was flipping back and forth.
I didn't even know it was on.
New Mexico State, though, as you remember, went to Auburn and won.
Yeah.
They'd won 8 in a row. Great story there for New Mexico State, but that's the second time they had to play Liberty, and they lost both times.
Yeah, Liberty. They've had that program on the upswing the last 5 or 6 years.
Hey,
Turner Gill.
They've invested in the program.
Listen, it's the second time Oregon had to play Washington, and they lost to them both times. Also.
That's true. By field goal both times.
Yeah. All right. Well, today we've got some big ones going. We got Oklahoma State, Texas. What's the line on that? What's the
Todd Bobo line? Right, fresh S. Todd Bobo is 14.5. I think that's too many points given Oklahoma State. Texas is going to win the ball game.
Texas is going to win the ball game. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well,
Texas is going to win.
I think they'll cover the line.
I think they'll cover the line.
Texas is going to win.
Miami of Ohio, Toledo.
Now, Toledo's got a pretty good ball club.
Toledo's pretty good.
Toledo's favored by 7.5. I like Toledo.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. SMU, Tulane.
I like SM. Well, I don't know.
The line's
Tulane.
4. Tulane's pretty good.
Tulane's pretty good.
I'm going to go with Tulane
I
on
think
that.
I'll go with Tulane also.
Louisville, Florida State.
This one's interesting.
I think Louisville will beat them. I don't know if Florida State's got a quarterback.
Who is their quarterback? They're on their third stringer.
Yeah.
And he's a freshman. He hadn't played any.
And I don't know that the other one's going to get out of concussion protocol. I really do like Louisville. They got beat last week
By Kentucky. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder.
There you go.
Louisville's getting 2.5 points. Florida State's favored by 2.5. I'm with Kenny. I'm going to take Louisville in the upset.
Okay, who else you got there, Bill?
You got Boise State, UNLV, and that one's kind of interesting because somehow this championship game is at UNLV. UNLV's getting 2.5. I like UNLV to beat Boise. UNLV's 9-3.
You don't go against Boise State, dadgum.
I'm gonna go UNLV.
Could not stand them when we were at middle.
At UNLV.
Okay.
I don't know how their conference works,
I
but
have never liked Boise State because when we were at
Bluefield.
middle, we were ranked better than they were, and we'd always have to go to their place and lose in the playoffs.
and you lose badly most times.
Yeah, on that
badly on that blue
turf.
field. On that blue field. You got Troy and App State today. That one's interesting. App State's a 6.5-point dog. I like Appalachian State
I
to
like
pull the
App
upset.
State. Yes, I do
Yeah.
too.
They're well coached.
Yeah,
All right, who else you got?
Michigan and Iowa.
ain't even a ball game.
Line's 23.5, and I think Michigan will cover that.
Ain't a ball game.
And then there's one other one we haven't talked about.
No, we're going to talk about it now. Who's it going to be?
Georgia and Bama.
Alabama.
Now the line was 5. The Todd Bobo line was 5.5, and it's dropped to 4.5. That's a lot of money coming in on Alabama.
Telling you, don't go against the Tide.
Okay, so let's just talk
Who we
about
gonna-
this
who we
for
gonna
a second. Let's just talk about this for a second. Alabama wins. They're both one loss. Do they both get in or are they both out?
No.
One in, one out?
No.
Who's in?
Hey, listen. Everybody knows Georgia wins, they're in.
Yep.
Parker scenario, and these are my picks. For Alabama to get in, this is what I feel like has to happen. Michigan has to win. Michigan has to win.
They're going to win.
Because they've got Ohio State above Alabama right now. So Michigan has to win. Washington has already won.
Mhm.
Texas is going to have to win.
Now you would want Texas to lose.
No, I want Texas to win. And Louisville to win.
Okay, so that means Florida State's going to drop out of it.
Florida State with a loss will be out.
Yeah.
Because they're minus their quarterback.
Right. All right, so let's just pick this game.
Georgia.
Georgia. I
Close
think,
ball game,
I don't
field
think
goal
it's-
ball game.
I think it's going to be 2 touchdowns, Georgia.
It could be. It just depends. If Alabama has one of those halves, and I'm going to be honest with you, they did not play well against Auburn at all.
No, they did.
I don't
Just
think.
did
I don't
not.
think. I think Georgia can run the ball on Alabama pretty easy.
But Alabama will play one really good half, and you're thinking, here they are. And then they'll have another half like they did against Tennessee, where they're just, for whatever reason, something's not there.
Yeah.
I just think they will play better today consistently.
They're going to have to. There can't be any bad quarters or bad halves
Ain't
here
no
because
doubt.
Georgia will embarrass you.
Well,
No
I'll tell you
doubt there.
something. If you lose to Georgia by 2 touchdowns, that's not a bad thing, really. I mean, because you look at what Georgia. I think Georgia's going to roll through the whole thing. I really do. I think they're going to have. I think they'll end up. I don't know how the brackets are going to get paired up, but I think they'll end up winning it all.
I've
again.
said it and I'll keep saying it. Bill made mention of it. This Washington team's a little better than a lot of people give them credit for. And they got a really good offensive coordinator
Really
who
good.
knows what he's doing. He knows how to set defense.
He's a great play caller.
He sure is.
He knows how to get people open with the scheme
Yeah.
of those receivers. You can tell it's the route and it's the coaching that got the guy open.
And-
Not that he's super athletic. It's the way he was coached.
And what I don't like about him is he turned Alabama down. He turned Nick
Oh.
down because he said, I really feel this team is special and we can make some noise at Washington this year. I think he's correct.
Who's the
Hey.
best quarterback in college football, in y'all's opinion? If you had to pick one,
If
The Washington quarterback.
I'm sorry. I've got to go with him.
I do too.
I've liked him ever since he
Yeah.
was at Indiana. But I had a friend that said you'll see the real Bo Nix when you get pressure on him. Said he don't play good with pressure. He don't play good under pressure. Who is the best? I think the LSU quarterback will win the Heisman.
I do too.
Um,
But I don't think he's as good
but
as
if
a kid
I
at Washington.
if I was in the
Close.
NFL
I would take
and
Washington.
I was going to have to pick a quarterback, it'd probably be the kid from USC.
Who had an off year.
Yeah.
And then I think the young man from North Carolina.
I'll take the Washington.
All right. Well,
kid.
let's shift gears, but we want to thank our sponsors again.
Yes.
First Bank of Shelbyville, Kincaid
Service company.
of Shelbyville, right on Madison Street.
Mark and Eve Kincaid, go see them. They'll hook you up.
That's right. You can't beat their service. You can't beat their products. Locally owned, go support them. And also Corner Cleaners.
Corner Cleaners.
They are a new sponsor for
Susie
us.
Johnson,
And
yes.
Susie Johnson. They've been a sponsor in the past, and we want to welcome them back into
Do
the
a great
fold.
job in and out. I'm talking about.
Yeah, deliver, do the whole works,
Mhm.
drive up. They'll do it all.
Got a
Got
drive-through window,
Yeah.
rent your tuxedos.
Yeah,
and
when it's time for a wedding or for prom in the spring, you go see Susie.
I know
She'll
that's
hook
where
you
both
up.
my boys got their tuxes
Yeah.
when they went to the prom.
You notice
Yeah.
that's another business though that goes out of their way to give you a good service.
Right.
And that's what
local.
you get, and they're local
And
from these hometown businesses. You're going
And
to
they
get service.
support our local sports program.
Absolutely.
All programs.
Hey, you go at every ball
Oh.
game and you'll hear a Corner Cleaners first down.
Right.
You know,
You know, when I go into restaurants, dry cleaners, wherever, one of the things I want to do is I want to look on the wall to see how many pictures of they sponsor local
Yeah.
teams. And our youth teams, you'll see trophies, you'll see pictures, and that's when you see that, you need to support those people.
Oh, yeah,
because they're
absolutely.
giving back.
Yeah.
And all three of these sponsors that we've got today are giving back.
Yeah, they are. And it's aggravating to me to see so many Amazon trucks
Right.
driving through town delivering when we got these businesses here.
Or you walk out to the baseball field or you go to the football field and you see that banner.
Yeah, that sign.
That sign, that tells you where they're at.
That's
Yep.
right.
Exactly.
And without the support of that, you couldn't have local athletics like we've got it in
Yeah.
any of our schools.
Yeah. But we appreciate you three sponsors. Let's talk about something else that's going on this afternoon, Bill.
Yep.
Down at your place, down
Yeah.
at the animal hospital. on
Shelby
North
Animal
Main,
Hospital Day.
We're going to have a live stream of the 50th annual Christmas parade. We're going to have Neil Gordon and we're going to have Tina Corley. They will be the MCs, and
You're going to be behind the camera, boss.
I'm going to be over there pushing buttons, making sure.
Push your button, make sure that happens.
If something's not right, it's my
Right.
fault. But we hope that the weather holds out and we'll get to have this today.
Mhm.
There was talks yesterday that it might be postponed, but I think it's going
I
to
think it's
clear
going to
out.
be all right.
Yeah, too.
Good.
So if you don't want to get out and fight the crowd, just check us out on ShelbyvilleNow.com, Shelbyville Now Facebook, and YouTube. We'll be at all three places, so check that out and be sure to share it with your friends. If people want to see the parade, we'll have a good little show there. It'll probably last 45 minutes or so, but we're going to start live streaming at 4, and the parade will get to us 10, 15 minutes
And
later.
hopefully, if you do this, you'll actually get to see the floats and hopefully a better picture than maybe if you were even there having to
Yes,
stand behind
that's
people.
right. So we're going to have
And you don't have to get wet this way
That's right. Front row seats and
or cold.
expert commentary.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, NFL, Bill. What's on the inside right now with the Titans? Who's hurt?
Okay. I
Who's
was going
not?
to give you some Green Bay.
I'm
Yeah.
a,
Well, we'll talk about that.
I got Green Bay on the list for sure because it's going to be a snow game. But the Titans right now, it's Colts week.
Titans will win.
I think they're going to win because they're at home. And it looks like we play well at home, terrible on the road.
Yeah, we're undefeated at
I think Titans
home
will
now.
win.
Now-
And the Colts won't have their running back.
They don't, but they have Zach Moss that killed us last time. But I think this is the time your defense gets right on Gardner Minshew. And I think Levis, I think the last time we played was one of the best games Hopkins had 140 yards. Hey, we've got to target D-Hop more.
Yeah,
He's your best playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
and I heard
Don't throw him 3 or 4 balls. Throw this guy 10 balls. He doesn't have to be open. You throw him open.
Derrick Henry came out and said the last game against Indianapolis, I had 46 yards. That ain't gonna get it done. So he's focused and he wants to rush for over 100 yards. So he's
I'll
got
go
his
back to
mindset
offensive line
right.
with something I saw too. This rookie Duncan on the left tackle, how we didn't know he was better than the other ones through practices beyond me. I'm not saying he's great. The kid is big, he's athletic, and he held his own last week at left tackle.
You know what? You want to know why this is give you a Parkerism?
Mm-hmm.
why the other guy was playing in front of him, because they gave him so many millions to start with, and they don't want to give somebody that kind of money and then have a rookie play in front of him, because they'll go, well, why'd you spend all the money on him if you're going to play a rookie over in front of him?
It's free money in the NFL. What does it matter? You put your best players out there.
Well, I don't, but that's the way it is.
And this guy may be a fine, maybe at a 6th-round pick. Pretty good player out of Maryland. He should have been a 3rd or 4th rounder. It was a great draft pick by Carthon. So now you got a rookie at left tackle, rookie at left guard, but we have issues with the center just because he's not big enough. Still is a problem.
Yeah, he's not big enough.
And,
All right.
And Radens is okay at right tackle, but I still think Radens is
He's
more
a
of a
guard.
left side guy and a guard, not the other. I think he would be better at guard.
We got some comments from Aaron Parker, and I missed this because I had it flipped over on the college schedule and didn't see Aaron's comments. He's got Michigan, Texas, Louisville, and Alabama today, and his CFP rankings at the end is Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Bama.
Well, yeah. Look who his daddy is. Look who his daddy is.
What do you say about apples and trees?
They don't fall far from the tree, do they?
All right, so that's an
Roll
interesting
Tide
pick.
Homer.
There you go.
That's an interesting pick right there. We'll see how that plays out. I can't disagree with it. You know, St. Nick might have us guys ready and come in and.
Before we get to Green Bay game, let's talk about the game of the week tomorrow. That may be the 2 best teams in pro football. San Francisco at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are at home and getting 2 points. Now, that's kind of a slap in the face to the Eagles.
Why? I haven't seen this out of San Francisco.
They got the talent on paper, but they've lost some games they should have.
I
Yeah, when
agree.
they had the
I
injuries.
agree.
They didn't have Debo Samuel. They lost games.
Yeah. Kittle's been out.
But I don't see them being favored against
I don't-
Philadelphia
I
at
don't-
Philadelphia,
I don't either.
where the batteries come flying at you.
I know.
I don't see that.
I
mean,
don't see it either.
San Francisco has not really impressed me this year.
Well, Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts, who you taking?
I'm gonna take Hurts.
And the offensive line,
Philadelphia's got the best line in pro football.
SEC North.
It is.
Now, the only thing about the Eagles that have disappointed me somewhat is their defense has not been as good as what I thought it is on paper. Give up too many points.
Well, let's talk about Green Bay.
All right.
Snow game.
It's a snow game.
Hey, you know
Talk
who's
about
going to be
fun.
there?
Aaron's going to be there.
Well, Aaron's going to be
What
there.
about you?
No, I'll be here.
What about David?
No, Taylor Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Taylor Swift's going to be. So now you got to turn in to watch it.
My daughter
Sunday
will.
night
Julia will be
football.
watching it. She's a
Well, let
Taylor
me ask
Swift
you,
fan.
y'all think all that's a publicity stunt?
I don't know.
No, I
It
just
is.
think-
It's working.
I just think it's
It's just-
today's media the way it works.
It's today's media. It's everybody hung up on her right now.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the. But no, I just said that because the halftime entertainment. Would we pay for this? Taylor Swift and Simone Biles in the G at midfield. Halftime entertainment.
How much of the football game are they going to televise, and how much of Taylor Swift in the box?
Uh,
'Cause you know, every other play they're
I
going
wanna
to be
see
going up there.
football.
I
All
do
right.
too.
but
Who y'all picking in this
I
game?
really, I give Green Bay a very good shot.
The line's
Okay.
6.5. I'm going to take Kansas City, but I would take Green Bay to cover the Todd Bobo line.
I think
I'm gonna
this
take
is
Green Bay to win.
I
They
think
sure could.
I think this will be a very good ball game.
Just Kansas City dropped the football.
Here's
They're
They're
Here's
not.
the-
They're off. They're
here's
just
the
off.
thing. This is Kenny. I was able to talk to my son last night. We talked a little bit, and I said, Aaron, you need to go over to golly, I can't come up with his name. The coach, Andy Reid, and said, hey, can you give me a few of them nuggies?
Oh, God. All right.
But I think that is going to be a very good ball game, and I look for Green Bay to pull. They're playing
They could.
good.
They
They're
could.
confident. They got a good locker room right now.
Who's got the better receivers here? I think it's the Packers.
Oh, I definitely
more
would. I
consistent
definitely
at
agree with
catching
you
the
on that.
ball. Yeah.
Kansas City's just been off this year.
Well,
They just-
their
something's
defense
not
is
right.
Well-
Kansas City's defense is pretty doggone good.
I don't
It's
disagree.
better than the offense
Yeah,
this
it's a
year.
good thing.
I agree. But
So which team can run the football in the snow? I think that's what it's going to come down to.
I don't think there's going to be that much snow.
Okay.
I don't think that. I don't think it'll be snow.
Aaron, what's the weather forecast?
Yeah, Aaron, we need a forecast.
I think they're supposed to get the littlest. When I was talking to him about that very thing last night. But here's the deal: snow don't bother Kansas City. They play in it all the
That's
time.
true.
Also,
But I will tell you, I think Kansas City's defense is better than Green Bay's. So advantage on defense for a change. I give it to Kansas City, but offensively right now, I give it to the Packers.
Yeah, I think the Packers are going to win that.
Now it hurts a little bit. Aaron Jones is going to be out again,
Yeah.
running back, but they've been going without him anyway.
yeah, they're beginning to learn how to play without him.
Yeah.
And AJ Dillon has done a great job.
Yeah.
He tried to overdo
Right.
early and putting a lot of pressure on himself, and I think they're beginning to learn how to. I'll tell you,
Right.
one thing that's going to hurt them is going to have the tight end who,
Musgrave,
he's not
He's
play
gonna be a
the
good
rest
player.
of the year.
he's going to be a good
All
player.
right, let's talk about the rest of these games. We're running out of time here, fellas. Let's look at the Chargers at New England. I'm going to pick the Chargers there. New England's
Absolutely.
terrible.
New England's
Yeah.
awful.
Detroit at New Orleans. I'm taking Detroit on that one.
And
Yeah.
New Orleans is too beat up, too many
Yeah.
players out.
Atlanta at the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets at
I'm
home.
going to take the Falcons.
I'm hoping the Falcons win. That helps our draft picks.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Arizona at Pittsburgh. I'm taking Pittsburgh at home.
Yeah.
Miami at Washington. Miami. I'm taking Miami.
The line
there.
couldn't be high enough.
Yeah. Denver at Houston. This is an interesting game. I'm going to stick
This
with
is going
Houston.
to be a
Denver's
that-
on the upswing.
Denver's playing pretty
Yeah.
good ball right
And
now.
Houston-
And Stroud's without two of his linemen this week. He's without his left tackle and his right guard.
At
That
home.
might hurt them, but he has been phenomenal at home.
Yeah.
At home,
Line's
I'm,
3.5.
I'm taking Houston there.
I'm going to take Denver.
I like Houston.
All right. Carolina at Tampa Bay. I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And then Cleveland at Los Angeles. And is Joe Flacco going to play?
I'm going to take the Raiders. I'm going to take.
Rams.
Oh, it's the Rams.
Rams.
Yes, the
I'm
Rams.
still going to take them.
I am too.
So what's
But I'll
the
tell you
deal
what,
with that
I-
quarterback
I
situation?
really
It's Joe Flacco. Oof.
Cleveland. It's hard to say. They're talented.
Yes.
They are very
But
talented.
this Deshaun Watson trade
But-
just
but
killed him.
It's hurt them, and then Chubb being out.
Yep.
You take those two guys and put those in there. They're contenders.
Yeah.
I got a good
all right.
defense.
Yes.
Big Monday night game for the AFC. We've got Cincinnati at Jacksonville.
If Joe Burrow was playing, what a game this would be.
Yeah,
but he's
well,
not.
This is a toss-up to me. I like Cincinnati if it was on a neutral field, but at home, I'm thinking it's kind of.
I don't like Cincinnati without Joe Burrow.
I like
I'll take
that.
Jacksonville.
You're gonna say
I like-
Jacksonville at
yeah,
home.
I like
Okay.
them also.
So it's definitely he's out for
Joe
what,
Burrow's
the rest of
done.
the year.
Joe
he's
Burrow's
done
done.
the rest of the
So
year.
who's
Yeah.
going to step in his place?
His name is Browning. Justin Browning, I believe is his name.
Okay, he's been in there before.
And he played last week at Pittsburgh. Played okay at Pittsburgh, but Monday Night Football at Jacksonville, that defense,
Mhm.
we'll see. But he's got great weapons. He's got Jamar Chase. He's got Higgins. He's got weapons.
Mhm.
But so does Jacksonville.
Yep, for sure.
And looking down the road, though, Lawrence is a pretty good quarterback, but your quarterback in this division may be C.J. Stroud. That may be the guy in this division.
Yeah, he's really impressed.
He's been a top five quarterback
He's
as a
done good
rookie.
job.
He
Now,
doesn't look like a rookie, right?
No.
He's not, but here's the thing. He's coming in, he's a rookie. You give all these smart defensive people, because we're not playing about next year. We'll see what he is next year. They call it that sophomore slump because they can get a chance to evaluate you and see what you
You
do.
make the
Well,
argument.
Aaron came back with the forecast. Low 30s with snow in the morning, possible light snow during the
Yeah, that's
game.
not gonna
So
be anything.
not a lot, but cold.
Mhm.
And Kansas
Hey.
City's used to playing in cold too.
They're used to playing in cold, but just
But I still think Packers.
man,
will
I'd
win
love
that
to
one.
be there. That is that'll be a great atmosphere.
Go back to one thing on the Texans real quick. D'Amico Ryans, arguably coach of the year in the National Football
Done a good-
League. What
done
a
a good-
job to
done a
turn
good-
the Texans
Hey,
around.
but look what he did with the defense at San Francisco.
Same thing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, guys, let's
What-
wrap this thing up.
What we got next week in basketball?
As far as our
Where we're
we're
playing.
playing, I hadn't looked at the schedule yet.
I don't know.
But they're everybody's got full tilt.
Mhm.
Get out, support the local teams, all our high school teams, girls and boys. Get out, support them. And we want to thank our sponsors, First Bank, Kincaid Service Company, and Corner Cleaners, all of Shelbyville. Get out and support these fine businesses. They make things happen around here. They support our local sports programs, and we appreciate them.
David, what time are we going on the air with the Christmas parade? 4
o'clock.
4 o'clock
for the
sharp.
Christmas
Right
parade.
here, guys.
David, I want to tell you, I was really disappointed in Bill today.
Why's that?
We didn't have any sausage
I know.
balls.
We'll work
And he's
on
going to
that.
blame that on his wife.
I am.
But it's his fault because he ate them all before he got here.
Okay.
She didn't make them today.
None today. All right.
All right.
Guys, thanks for watching. Look for us same time, same